All right, hello everyone. We are back for the first of the two semi-final matches today. I am here with Real MP again to commentate with me. I'm looking forward to some good matches. How we doing?
Doing very fine. Very excited for this matchup. Happy to see SirKex in action again. I mean, just like last year, he had an amazing run in the candidates with 4 wins and 1 draw. So he's been very dominant again, and this is his second semifinal in a row. So I'm very excited to see how he's going to perform, and I'm also excited to see the newcomer devansh, who's been very strong. He made it to the candidates last year, and he almost didn't make it to the semifinal this year, but he ended up making it. And I mean, just this match against Arun in the last round was just crazy. So I'm really excited to see them clash.
Yeah, agreed. He played well, and it should be a good match. And then um, I was just remembering too last year in the semifinal round we had SirKex playing against yourself 10-10-10. And I remember how crazy that match went, and it went all the way to the 10th match, and they ended up tying and having to go to Armageddon, which I remember that was crazy. That was a lot of fun to watch, but I'm sure stressful for the players. And then it was just an intense, fun game. I don't know if we'll have that again, but should be fun.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have an Armageddon for us, the viewers, and hopefully not for the players, I guess. Yeah, I mean, just the Armageddon game last year was crazy. I just remember commenting with you the semifinal between SirKex and yourself, and it was just like so many ups and downs. It was insane.
Yeah, yep. All right, so we're at the top of the hours. The game should be starting soon. Kind of keeping an
All
eye
right,
on
then.
the
So
players.
SirKex has white in this first game, so kind of curious if he's going to go with E3 or C4. And he can be very effective with both weapons, so.
I'm a little behind on getting this game up. Here we go. All right, yeah. So Kex at white first.
But yeah, I was about to share the link as well. I'm not sure what's happening there. Oh yeah, here we go. E3, E6.
All right, so no real surprise with E3, E6. Kind of the question is, I'm sure Kex is prepped for E6 because that's what devansh likes to play. So we'll see what kind of innovations that he may or may not have.
And so yeah, he goes for the two knights attack with the knight on D2 and the knight on H3. And okay, devansh goes for E5, trying to attack this knight on D2.
So Pepsi is suggesting QF3 right here. Looks like a okay move, but we get the rook to slide over instead, kind of threatening that B7 square. So I feel like, yeah, so you probably see devansh taking the G pawn.
Okay, and he goes for the rook. So maybe the plan is then to go after him to E1, taking the king, and getting rid of that king for the endgame.
Yeah, you've kind of got a little bit of a rook queen race at the moment, but both players are going to have to capture back soon, so it's not going to go the whole way.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But it was interesting from Kex to go for rook B1 instead of queen F3 because like traditionally you don't want to be in a race, queen versus rook as the rook. So I'm kind of curious to see why he initiated that race with the rook and not the queen.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Other than um, if he takes the like on e1, Kex can capture back with the queen, so he'll be down a king, but maybe he has um, some advantage with that. I don't see. Also, like when this ends, Black has that pawn on e5 that he's kind of threatening to push to grab the knight.
All right, and so Kex is calculating there. Kind of curious to see what are the options there.
I mean, if he takes the knight, devansh can capture back with the bishop, but then that rook, he still has the rook on the a file that's attacking the pawn on a2, so that's what he needs to be careful with.
Yeah, but on the other hand, if he takes the knight and queen takes queen, and then he has to take the rook, and you don't
Right.
have that many options.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
It
mean,
seems like he has to take the queen back,
yeah,
but he doesn't. So I assume devansh then's going to take the queen, and you're going to have this queen rook race going.
yeah, I think so. I think queen takes queen would be the most. I mean, the move that would make the most sense. And that's what he goes for.
All right, and also just checking with people watching this stream. Let me know in the chat if the audio and the video is okay. It looks like at one point when I started the I didn't have the 8th rank visible on the for the people watching the stream,
Oh,
which you're gonna want to see all the pieces, right? Not just some of them.
of course you do.
I mean, both players are getting low on time here.
Yes, they do, but
I I think Kex is
well,
okay here. And
yeah, I think he is. Um,
and then take e5 next, and that wins.
um,
Oh, he
I think
captures back. So that's
queen e6, yeah, and now it's winning for black, I guess.
and I didn't
Maybe it's not as simple as that.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Oh, he's got to give up the rook.
The thing is, too, devansh is at 5 seconds. All right, so it looks like bishop loses, rook loses. King's probably going to lose. I think devansh can take this.
Yeah, I think king is not great either. Yeah, rook loses. And so it should be a win for devansh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for the first time in the game, we see Kex thinking about what the possible moves are, and so yeah, knight I guess is losing, but he buys some time.
Right? Like
So
maybe
just
like sometimes you get lucky where the knight can get itself across the board and killed just based off the spacing, but um,
I think
just
just
the
the bishop
bishop
promotion
wins.
wins
Yeah.
here. Okay, nice game.
All right, devansh up
That's a
1-0, and we're gonna see e3 e6 again. Yeah, and devansh plays that interesting like queen to e2 move. I feel like I don't see that very often, but
I don't see that very often, but the point of that is that you want to double the two pawns on a7 and a6, which
mm-hmm.
is some kind of weakness for black. But on the other hand, you give up your queen, and which is a good piece for intermediates and for
Mm-hmm.
creating some chaos. And yeah, now Kex is actually using the queen himself to try and double the pawns of the devansh. And Pepsin Gaming suggesting knight to h5.
All right, so this is an interesting setup. Kex has this advanced f pawn, but it kind of feels like devansh is kind of squeezed in on the queen side here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just looks so much better for black there because just like all of white's pieces are stuck. So you got a rook, knight, a bishop. Yeah, I don't know how long white's going to be able to hold, but they still have a king, so they can kind of scramble a bit with the king and see what happens.
Right? I think that's a good move right there. Like you've got capture chain with the pawn, but then if he takes with the knight instead,
It doesn't look good either.
right? I don't see. It's probably not. And it's not mate, but I think that gives even a chance to. If he just pushes the f pawn, um, it gets rid of white's knight, and so white's down material even more, and just kind of trapped in.
Hmm. And starting suggesting 97, just running the knights.
No, I don't think you want to trade the knight. I don't think you want to keep your knight. So I think
Yeah, yeah, f6.
I like f6.
Yeah, I don't really care about the pawns being doubled there because the f3 pawn is kind of close to promotion.
He ditches the knight though instead. So
Ooh,
that Kex can get a capture chain, but I don't think that accomplishes anything because now that his I guess he could move his rook over and get to b3.
yeah, he can. So
Um,
f5, g6, rook b8, and rook b3. What?
so he doesn't go for that, but he's going to put a pin on the bishop so that king's stuck in place.
Oh, yeah, sorry, it's my bad. I thought f5 was good, but I chose the bishop and was covering the square, so that's why he didn't go for that. It's a bit more complicated than what I thought. And nice bishop move there by Kex.
Yeah, devansh is just really stuck now. He like outside of his a pawn, which now he's pushed.
Yeah, and
It
maybe
has one
didn't
more
shove
move, and then
through.
it's just not going anywhere. Like he'll have to move. I guess maybe his rook up and down until Kex gets it to move. Because really, he can also Kex can push the f pawn, um, and promote to like a king or whatever. Really, to get that king to move.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many options to finish white off. But I mean, yeah, pushing f2 and then king. Maybe that's the plan.
Like devansh doesn't have much to do here. Kex just needs to be careful. Um, so right now, Kex is kind of threatening his king to f6, which allows him to use his rook. So yeah, so devansh has to get rid of that. And now, like what a1's like the only move. So I assume that we can. Oh, we got 2 kills though, so the bishop is also attacking on um, g5. Kex has 40 seconds to make sure that he can do it. I think it would be easier to run the rook. So can you just go king to f5, and if he attacks the pawn, you capture it back?
King to f5. I think. Oh yeah, okay.
So I think
Yeah, rook
g5.
h6 is good.
And now, see, they're both down at like 20 seconds. I mean, I'm sure Kex has mate here, but he needs to find it. And with devansh attacking 2 pieces, I think that looks good because then the pawn can capture back.
And then he's gonna take on a7. And now I guess he needs to play. Yeah, I was gonna say bishop e3 to fight the rook promotion, and then he king and then draw. Yeah, good save there by devansh. I wonder what Kex keeps playing. Is there anything that can be done?
I'm not. I'm not sure. This feels like a draw. I don't know if you dump the king. White's pawn's gonna promote first, and then again it still feels like a draw. Yeah, I think Kex had that game one pretty well.
I think just rook and then king.
Yeah, I mean it's a king or
Or
a bishop,
bishop
right?
still, and then you sack.
Which is still a draw, right? So.
Yeah, I think he's just. Oh, wait, no. I thought he made a mistake, but it's actually okay.
Yeah, no, this is.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I think he's just a bit frustrated that he's a bit frustrated with this with the fact that he missed the win. So I think that's why he kept playing, but I was just drawing. And now we get CC4 and the fake Polish there.
All right, so devansh is up right now 1.5 to 1/2.
It's strange that the Devansh push for b5 there because it kind of allows it allows queen to a4 and then a3 and then potentially a capture chain.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Yeah, it looks like that doesn't work, and Kex sees that.
Yeah, Pepsi says queen to b6. Okay, yeah.
So devansh just pushing his pawns. I think he has to take on b2, right? Just because otherwise Kex has this huge capture chain set up.
Yeah, he's got 2 kills, so I think we're gonna see takes b2, rook takes, and then both the b8 and b6 squares are double covered, so.
Alright, so he keeps pushing the pawn. So devansh saving material here. Which I feel like Kex can kind of ignore that.
Yeah, I mean, then he can, later in the game, bring the king to g1, and then, do the capture chain with the rook, the king, and the knight.
Alright, opens up the bishop, which is
This works as well.
Safe at the moment. Like this square is double covered, and pushing the g pawn isn't gonna change anything.
I think
and this kind
b3 is quite strong.
Yeah, and it kind of sets up a capture chain on this side too.
Yeah, and you're targeting the h6 square for black, which is quite weak. And there, if you go for g5, I mean, then he's probably gonna have to stick with the king or the knight, and it's going to be easier to attack, and this bishop is going to be this black bishop is going to be annoying for black.
I just kind of wonder if there's a counter attack here that devansh can use to. I mean, I'm not seeing anything. And now you've got this bishop will be pinned on with that A pawn. The knight can kind of move out of the way and uncover it. Yeah, so we see the king move to set up the capture chain. And I don't think this doesn't really change anything. Like,
Okay, and I'm wondering about something. If you go for e3, the capture chain, and then you go for bishop h3, and then you can, kind of move the king away.
right,
Oh yeah,
yep,
that's what he does.
yeah, and then grab the bishop.
Yeah, you grab the bishop, and then you have just knight d2 with your free move. Okay, he's doing something else.
I think he's got the same thing in mind, though. He's going to force the promotion first, because that H rook was kind of covering that first rank. So I think this should be mate. So I still think you move up to like d7.
All right, so I had the right idea.
Yep. So now he can move his knight, and then he can also.
I think he's got to take his time there. Try
Yeah.
to.
So I think maybe knight to f3.
Yeah, I like knight to f3.
Right.
And then I guess just g4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, easy finish. Well done.
All right. So we get e3, e6 again, maybe, or what are we gonna get? Okay. Yeah.
I was gonna think b6, but
Well, Kex was in. I think Kex had mate last time, and just. All right. So this is different from devansh. We got queen to f3 instead of e2.
that's an interesting setup. I mean, all the pieces are very, very far back.
Yeah, and they're both kind of developed. Both players have their king, and devansh's knights are now in the middle. I mean, Kex has a little bit more material, so I think Kex is a little bit ahead here. Like, I like Kex being, having that queen. I feel like he can, if he's able to get that out and use it in the next few moves, that could be an advantage.
Yeah, an interesting move there. Devansh getting knight g3.
So he's threatening to grab here. We got Pepsi saying that that white has this one. I'm not sure. I don't see it though. I don't see what.
Yeah, I don't see a win either for white. Man, I kind of feel that white's position is easier to play, but I don't see like a win like this.
Like if you go,
Knight.
if knight goes to f5, if the pawn captures back, then you can push the g pawn and like get the promotion. But I don't know if that.
Yeah, I mean, and what if knight takes knight a5 and knight takes back? Do you have like an intermediate there?
Um, I mean, I don't see intermediates for white in that position. But
Yeah, neither do I.
does he need the intermediate? Yeah, this is well. I was curious of pushing the f pawn, but so this threat's still looming, the f5 with the knight. So now that h2 is double covered, Kex is removing it. Devansh down to 15 seconds.
Are we gonna see g4? G5, sorry, for black?
I mean, that seems like the natural thing. Um, maybe Devansh then just puts the knight back on f1.
Yeah, and that's what he does instantly.
So now Kex is giving his queen an escape. And Devansh is just so low on time. Like, he's going to have to move quickly here. See if he can get...
And at some point, also, queen g5 will be strong.
Yeah, good call. I mean, it doesn't... Yeah, I think moving the rook over the h-files, that's good. So Devansh has a little bit of mobility there, but still the issue being he's really low on time. Captures back with the king. I kind of wonder if you just see king to g8. But now Kex is starting to lose time too. He's down to 20 seconds. He had a large time advantage. I think the threat here is d4 with the king. I mean, is that a capture chain? I can't draw an arrow. Maybe a bishop promotion. Or there's nothing that he can do. Like, he's going to promote, and we've got this square, this square, this square, this square. And then we push the
Yeah, I
a
think
pawn.
you should be safe. Wow.
Yeah, I feel like
And the launch head once again.
Kex had the advantage. Although some people are saying that Devansh had mate anyway, so. So this looks similar to the last c4 opening.
It's similar to what we saw in, I think it was game 3.
Yeah,
Maybe?
I think so. So last time devansh pushed the b pawn. This time he's going with the e pawn instead, kind of threatening to grab
Yeah.
the knight.
Yeah, and Kex is just, going back to what has been working for him.
Yeah.
I mean, the game he won was this opening, so I think it makes a lot of sense to go for that.
So I don't know. Can you push the d pawn or no? I don't. I mean, he doesn't. And then that opens up the bishop. You get your queen coming up. So it continues to push the e pawn. I feel like so last year in the final between Flo and Kex, I feel like Kex played a few c4 games where Flo also had this e pawn pushed way up, and I think that if I remember correctly, how it went is that Kex ended up with mate, but it was complicated, and he blundered, and Flo ended up winning, or that game, anyways. But I think that White was actually fine.
Mm.
All right, so also I love this ugly Swede saying "Bring out the mamas," which I've seen him use as his term for queen racing, and I love it. So I plan on using that term in the future.
Yeah,
Bring out the mamas.
we're always improving our terminology. All right, let me see. Queen takes d2 here.
Takes with the bishop. I like it. I think it's a little risky, but Kex is saying that with his queen out attacking multiple squares, that he's thinking that he has some options, that like it doesn't matter if his bishop captures a couple times, he's going to be fine and can come out with an advantage. We'll see though. Like this could be mate for devansh. I don't see it, but
Yeah, I was gonna say e3. Yeah, it looks quite good. And then
I mean,
if you go for e3, and then oh wait, never mind. I had something else in mind.
okay. I think that was good by Kex.
Yeah, very good. And now White has a dominant position.
And White has the time advantage, so he opens up his bishop, increasing his mobility here, and I don't know what devansh has planned other than moving his king around. So he'll slide his king over towards that a file to force Kex to dump the rook.
I mean, you can always play knight a3 or something to keep your rook.
Yeah. I was thinking like a b4 maybe, although the question is, do you want to leave that pawn on b2 So yep, you got that knight a3. It almost feels like Kex is trying to not run him out of time, but like he's developing and giving himself some space. But I feel like the king in front of the bishop and the knight in front of the rook. Like, does he need to come back down to a1?
Oh, and then we see knight a7. I think that
Yeah,
was a
like
blunder there,
that's.
like X.
And so Kex cleverly moves his king so that the bishop can attack on b5 instead of the knight and covers that space. So
Oh,
devansh opens up the rook
yeah, nice,
and
nice blunder. I
and
missed.
threatening on h4 so that he could dump that bishop if he wants. Although that capture chain's not really good for black.
Um,
But does all right? So we're 2 seconds. Devansh is gonna get flagged. Yeah, so he plays the knight move.
all right.
This captures back with the bishop, I think, and
Yeah, you want to capture with the bishop, then to lure the black bishop.
yeah. So now, I mean, I assume that we
Just
just
to retreat.
push back to f8 with the bishop, but like long term, I mean, the question is there a spot that he can
Wait,
go?
what? Uh,
Devansh just has no time. I think you just push that g pawn back up, yeah. And then what? c2 with the king.
c2.
I mean, he has to uncover the pawn.
And then maybe.
I mean,
Uh,
g1 gets you 2 kills,
yes, that's what I was about to say.
and then can
And
you
then I
bring your
think bishop.
bishop to e2 and then grab the king for the rest of the kills?
Yeah, bishop e2, bishop a6, and then knight b5, and it's game over for Kex.
Got 20 seconds to find that. All right. So close game. So we're at 2.5 to 2.5 at the halfway point.
All right.
No break called.
Yeah, I think we're in for a war.
Yeah, it
This
looks
game
like
is.
it. It looks like it. All right, so e3, e6 again. So this is similar to the first game.
I think it was the second game, no?
Or the second. No, I think it was. Yeah, the
I
second game,
think
because Kex was
the
white in the
second
first
game.
game. You're right.
But I think it's a bit strange for Devansh to go back to this setup because it worked against him in the first time they played. I mean, the result was a draw, but I mean, I feel like Kex was winning this
Yeah.
if he hadn't blundered. So I'm kind of surprised to see him going for this opening again. And here we see Queen c7 again. And I think Knight h5 was the move suggested by Pepsi here.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. That feels weird to me. I mean, it's certainly an option. Like, I think it doesn't. I don't see it resolving one way or the other for either player. Last time Devansh, I believe, played f5, and then we traded away these pieces, and Devansh ended up with not a lot of material left.
Yeah. And once again, we see just Kex way, way, way ahead in time. I, I think maybe he's the player with like the superior prep because He's been
Yeah, I think so for sure, and that's one of Kex's strengths is prepping and innovation. So a little different there, and that moved fast. I didn't see where I didn't even see where devansh went.
yeah. I mean, it's not only innovations, but he's just so good at picking the right openings for every player.
Hmm.
And I mean, he studies just so many different variations of everything. Like, I think he told me for like the first game of the candidates, he had like 21 chapters for us Keizo. Just like the depth of his prep and like the works he put in is incredible. I mean, yeah, I think probably alongside Flo, they're probably like the two players with like the best, I would say, like study ethics in the community.
Right. All right. So Kex pushing that a pawn and say trying to kick the knight, but devansh is gonna try to give himself some space and pushes his a pawn in response. Yeah, White's just kind of locked up here.
Hmm. Yeah, it's just so hard to find something good for White. I mean, I don't really see, any possibilities of development. Any, yeah, and it just goes for Rook A2, which kind of seems like, a move you play out of desperation.
Right. So I'm pushing the e pawn to kick the knight, so it's been kicked. Now d4 has like a million pieces attacking it. I think I think Kex wants to still kind of move fairly quickly here to keep that time pressure on devansh. I mean, obviously needs to be careful, but I mean, even just moving the king up.
Is he calculating knight to d4?
Yeah, I was wondering that too myself. I don't. I think it's okay for Kex to just leave it alone. Like he wants devansh to dump the material and run out of pieces to move.
Yeah, absolutely.
But now they're both getting low on time. This is again where Kex needs to make the decision and go. Yeah, I don't know if I like pushing the e pawn, but now so we got this trade, which I think needed to happen because White was setting up a capture chain. But now I feel like White has a pin on the bishop, and they're both at 15 seconds. Like I think White came out ahead there.
Yeah, I think it's pretty well done there by devansh.
I mean, what happened here? So he can grab the rook, force the promotion. 6 seconds to.
Ooh.
Holy
Oh my
cow.
god.
Holy cow.
This game is just like back and forth.
Yeah, we just. The time pressure clearly like eating at these guys, and this d7 pawn's double covered with the bishops. Oh my gosh, 9 seconds. This is stressful. Holy cow. I think rook promotion's safe.
Yeah, no, I think it's just game over for
Yeah.
black. And once again, we see devansh coming up ahead.
All right, so Kex playing e3. Yeah. Sarang asking if we're going to see a tiebreaker. Maybe we can get an Armageddon match again here.
I think what would be really sick is that, let's say Kex brings it back to 3.5 to 3.5. They each win one game, 4.5, 4.5. They draw the decisive game, and then we go into Armageddon. I think that should be like a sick scenario.
Can he capture back with the queen? No, he doesn't. And now I'm trying to remember. I think this is different than the previous game, though. Maybe.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think last time he didn't go for Queen A3, he went for Rook B1 on move 7. And then we ended up with like a Queen versus Rook race, and devansh won that game. I think it was the very, very first game.
Yeah. Which it kind of looked like Kex was ahead. But then the queen came back up and attacked like the e5 pawn.
Yeah, and that was just, demonstrating the superiority of the queen versus the rook in
Yeah.
when they have to raise.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, it's like, it's kind of easy to predict what the rook is going to do, but the queen, like, you always forget something when you're racing. So queen takes f2.
I mean, this is pure queen race right here. Like
Yeah, I was going to say, for us commentators, it's just a nightmare to call these positions because, like, it's just so hard to understand what's going on. I was about to say, all I can say is that the queen was about to take on c8 for white, but
Right, and then take the king, and then like I feel like Kex has the advantage here.
yeah, I feel like it's easier to play for white because you've got more options.
Yeah, and they seem natural. Where devansh actually has to calculate like, oh, I've got 4 kills left, but then this pawn can be pushed, or do I go this way and I kill these 4 pawns, and yeah, and I end up on h2. Like I think you get the d pawn, although yeah, like he has to take the rook because otherwise.
Yeah, he has to take the rook. Absolutely.
All right, so that should be mate. We take the knight, then we get.
Knight,
Oh wait,
rook takes.
hold on. Yeah, this order. Gotta do it correctly. But so now we're at 3.5 to 3.5. So Kex has been playing e6. So he goes
And
with
then
d6
finally we
finally.
see
Something different.
nice. Okay, yeah, he can change his way of playing against v6. He used to play different lines against me when I played him in the candidates last year at the launch.
Well, and I want to say this is the line. So Flo was playing e3 and devansh tried b6. Um, and I feel like this was the line that Flo was playing and devansh couldn't beat it, so I'm guessing he studied it to play it. I'm not like I don't like this position for either player, and I feel like I've seen this game. I think that Stockfish kind of recommends you get to this position when you bring that queen to c7.
Hmm.
But like as black, you've got like both bishops, and you're not super developed. But then white doesn't really have a bunch of material, so it's not. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean this position is a bit hard to it's a bit hard to play. So yeah, I mean black retreats the knight there. The idea being potentially to go for 96 later.
And it doubled rooks on the h. Wow, that's an interesting move. I like that.
Yeah, first time I think I ever see that.
Right, and
I love
are
it.
there any intermediates? Yeah, for Kex. And Pepsi still wants to rename B6 to be the Ogle opening instead of the Leodart. Alright, so this is just a weird endgame too. Like, white just has the knight, but slightly better pawn structure. Like
Yeah, and I think
if
here
you're
king
black, can you
promotion
just go
would
to
be.
G7 and just kill that pawn?
Mhm.
Or does the tempo allow? I don't think so. Like
Well, I think it would not be kind of hard for. Yeah, I think I wouldn't recommend it
well,
for
yeah,
black to
definitely
play
not
that.
now. And now this bishop's kind of being threatened. I don't know that devansh necessarily wants to dump his knight in those 2 pawns though. Like, but he has a time advantage, and Kex has like multiple pawns on the b file that aren't getting killed at the moment. So
Yeah, and king promotion is nice.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I think Kex is in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, I mean, when we were talking about this opening, I mean, it's strong for black because you have more material and everything, but you have to play like so accurately because like there are only one or two correct moves every single time, whereas white has like tons of options,
Yeah.
and so it kind of ends up being like hard to. I mean, if you don't play perfectly as black, this opening is very hard. I mean, Watkins when he tried to solve the e3 d6 considered this line, but couldn't solve it because black can get out of here if he plays perfectly. But Stockfish, who's not perfect, actually raised this opening as like +7 or +8 for white. Yeah, King H7 there from the launch, getting closer to the pawns of black and still threatening mates.
All right, so he moves the bishop out, hides it behind another piece.
D4 is surprising there by the launch.
Yeah, I
I was
thought so
expecting
too.
more something like into it.
But now, like, devansh is controlling the space really well here. So, like, I think,
Yeah, he is.
and like, threatening to keep pushing that d pawn is nothing. Like, devansh would love to have his king sitting on d3. Yeah, Kex just really running out of space here.
And maybe King D8 still pressuring there. Oh wait, no, not King D8. Because you can just play the bishop and then trade the kings.
So now Kex is kind of threatening to get his own piece, promote to something that gives him something new to move.
Well, I think king promotion there will be fine for black and maybe, end up as a draw.
Right, devansh is down to 15 seconds. Like, just bringing the knight into d6 just win the game. Don't know. People are saying that, but is there?
Yeah, knight d6 is just pure style.
But like, can we just move the? Can the bishop go to? Oh yeah, okay. I was like, it's at some point here, then we get the rook open. Just trying to see if like there's an
Yeah,
is there an intermediate, like can black play b7 and then attack the the g2 pawn? No, because the rook's still coming up here. Oh, look at that cleverness. Holy cow.
But I mean, this bishop is
The bishop is,
still terrible.
yeah. Like this rook is kind of pinned, this bishop is pinned. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that doesn't change anything. Gives you one less piece to move.
I mean, I think this is one of the most beautiful finish I've ever seen.
So it opens up the bishop.
And the rook. I mean, I think just king c2 there.
Well, I'd just go g4 and then grab the rook. Very nicely done. This has been very exciting. Kind of as you see, we've just been trading games back and forth, with the exception of the draw in the second game.
Okay, so now Kex has his back against the wall. I mean, this is a must-win game for him.
Yeah. And he keeps taking, like, we get this like queen race, which Kex won the last queen race. Holy cow.
And yeah, if devansh wins this, he could be the first Indian to make it to the grand final. And maybe even the first Asian player. We see this race again. I mean, last time it worked pretty well for Kex.
Yeah, I was trying to remember how it happened, but I know that at some point, like, did he take the knight and then the rook? And I mean, this is a little bit different because devansh has his knight out on h6, so the king is being covered by the rook. So this time white doesn't have as many free captures.
Oh,
I don't know what's happening here. It kind of feels like, can
I
Kex
think
find mate?
taking the rook was a blunder, no? I think it's a big blunder there by devansh.
Yeah. Holy cow. So this
Oh my god, it's the first blunder we
this
see.
is going the distance. Now we just need to find a way to draw the last game so that we can get Armageddon.
Yeah, maybe a prediction is gonna be fine.
I don't know what Kex is calculating here. Oh, he's trying to get a little tricky with the setting of multiple kills.
I
It's a
mean, if you
little
can win,
unnecessary, but
why not be fancy?
yeah. All right. We've made it to game 10, folks.
Queen e2 again? Queen f3, okay.
Oh, I forgot to switch to
And
white's
so we're probably gonna
perspective.
see the b6 setup.
Okay. I mean, devansh, we did this. We did this in one of the games. I can't remember if it was.
All right, so if you look at the statistics there, apart from the first two games, every single game has been won by white. So
So
if
devansh is in
you
the
know the
maybe in the driver's seat
drivers,
right here, and Kex like undevelops his knight. That's not a very common type of move. All right.
knight b3 is kind of strange there because after c5 you just like trade your knight for a pawn, or after a5
Yeah,
works
I
too.
like I like using the a5 one because then you're threatening towards grabbing that bishop. I feel like then we get.
Yeah, the bishop.
I feel like we end up with that knight back on a6. Although the king's threatening to come and go to that spot.
I mean, you can cover with the knight, and like something like knight a6, and then if you put the pawn on a white square on a4, maybe it could work.
All right. So the queen comes out. Threatening h2, which actually isn't a threat. I think more of the threat is that he's going to come to f2 and start killing pieces and just start getting rid of devansh's pieces. I think that's the move. All right, so comes back. Yeah, Kex just takes it. He says, "Your rook cannot have my king. I'm just going to kill these."
Yeah,
I I think that Kex has
I mean,
done really well here.
this move like queen h4, where you just move your queen to just like get rid of as many pieces as you can. It's just kind of like a vacuum that you use to like take all the pieces, and then it's going to enable you to like strangle your opponent. And so I think X is probably calculating if queen takes g2 is okay.
Well, I mean, really, I think Kex is fine here. Like devansh is, he wants to save his material. Like I don't see where devansh really even goes. But Kex is fine taking that. The knight on e2. Probably fine with taking the bishop too and leaving. Like is g2 feels a little bit risky.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, what about queen takes g2 there?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
trying to look this to see like there was two pieces that were covered, but I think this works out. So now Kex just has all the material. But Kex has had the material advantage and space before, and it just kind of like started to run out of time and kind of like panicked and gave away some of those positions. So if you
Yeah, I
see
mean,
Devansh is playing quick now, he's just putting his pieces in. It's like, all right, I need to get this time advantage. So Keck's just going to trade way more pieces, just reduce Devansh's material.
yeah, well, the thing is that, when you have all these pieces, the position is winning, but it's just like so hard to find the right combination. And 2+5, it's long time control in theory. We call that long time control. It's not that long. Like,
Yeah.
you just need, I think, more than 2 minutes to find out winning combinations in this kind of positions.
Well, so Devansh can get his king to c3 here and kind of threaten to grab this rook.
But yeah. How about c5 in this case?
Yep. And also, Sarang pointing out that this is the second time that b8 has been played in the same game, which is that is hilarious. All right, so do we see the rook slide over? Devansh has now 12 seconds, 10 seconds to decide. Kex has a minute 30. He does slide the
Hmm.
rook over. And I wonder too, yeah, so Kex just developing his king here. At some point, Kex can push to d5 and grab that pawn and then grab the king. Like if he can get some other pieces lined up to.
Ooh.
Kex is really keeping this knight in these three squares. All right, so the overcovered d4 square is getting traded off. This feels like black should win.
So yeah, I guess just move the knights somewhere. Maybe knight g4 or something. Okay.
Holy cow.
Wait. Let's. So Kex can get a draw here if he gets rook a7.
Give us the Armageddon. Well, all right. I'm gonna say the bishop promotion probably isn't a draw because it has 2 kills, and this pawn's on a light square, so then the bishop can get itself killed. I mean, it wouldn't be
That's true.
it wouldn't be an easy feat. This is this is nuts though. Like I don't feel comfortable as Kex in this spot, like trying to find
Yeah, I mean,
mate
I'd
here.
rather be white than black here because it's just easy to play as
Yeah,
white. Like you only have one or two direct moves, and
yeah. Holy cow. Devansh kind of running low on time here, trying to calculate if he can come closer to these pieces and be okay, or if he needs to stay to the side. But if he stays to the side, that allows Kex
I
to
mean,
push his C
I
pawn
think
or
I think
move his rook to the B file.
yeah, I mean, I think he can come closer, but will this be like a relevance? I mean, do you actually want to get close? I don't know. All right, sacking the bishop next, I guess.
Feels feels like a draw.
I think this is a win there for black now.
I mean, we end up with what, 2 rooks versus 2 kings?
Versus king and pawn. Because black is going to promote first. Mm, actually, I don't know.
I think we've got 2 rooks versus 2 kings coming.
Yeah, sorry, you're right.
Which, like, if the kings mess up, like if you get the kings like parallel to each other, you can get the rook killed, but Devansh isn't going to do that. So
Yeah, I mean, devansh knows better. The question is, we know that two kings versus one rook is draw, but what about two kings versus two rooks? I mean, I don't think. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know either. So that stops a rook promotion,
And the bishop promotion.
right, and a bishop promotion, but so it's gonna be king. It's not though.
And we got the draw.
Is there a... I was going to say, is there any way to...
You have to play king f8.
Yeah, alright, so it's...
I think X is declining. He's just trying to see if...
See if there can be a blunder. Like, devansh should be able to, like, carefully not blunder.
Yeah, not with 30 seconds left.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with playing a few moves and seeing if your opponent will blunder, but I'd be the white player that would blunder and then screw up the position.
Yeah, so would I. So would I. Yeah, and I mean, Gex is kind of, doing some psychological warfare or something.
It's like, yeah, are we hoping for a mouse slip or a flag?
I don't think you can flag in 2+5.
Yeah, devansh is a fast player too. He used to play a lot of half zero matches. So, all right. So the draw offer's back on the board. It's accepted, folks. We are going to Armageddon.
Amazing.
I don't know if there's a mediator. Is there Autumn Winds in the chat?
I think he's spectating.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I kind of feel like a prophet calling that.
That was a lot of fun. I'm excited that it's happening again and that we get to watch it.
Yeah, insane. Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
This is just like mental. And the fun thing is that it's just like happening 2 years in a row. Like we had an Armageddon last year it was, and we got it again.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, I see Pre-Slav's asking in the chat if we've had Armageddon in the Antichess World Championships before, and we have. So last year in this exact position, Kex was playing yourself 10-10-10, and they went all the way to the 10 games. And so with Armageddon, they need to negotiate. They both make a bid. Is it to play white and a time control or something? Like they pick, and so somebody ends up with a time advantage while the other person is white. And I forget what. I feel like Kex and yourself both had a strategy, and one of them proposed to get a ton of time so that they could just be black.
Yeah, I don't have like the set of rules with me.
Do you remember? Because they end up with different time controls, right?
Yeah, so pretty much the thing is that
it's like 3-0.
Yeah.
So there's no increment, but then white has less time, so white has to like. I don't know. Like I forget how did they do that to have it so that white had less time? Like you make a move and then you have to wait X amount of time to make your second move, or how did they do that? Do you remember?
No, I don't. Should have read the rules before.
Which is totally what happened in the first time too. When we got to 10-10, we were like, I don't know what happens here. Like I'm not playing. I'm just watching. So I'm not. Am I required to read the rules? Maybe it would have been good for me to read the rules so that I could tell you guys. But um, do we have?
And let's just say that the 3 minutes for kicks and 2 minutes for devansh, which is 5 minutes in total, is just perfect for us because right after we're going to have the second semifinal between change opening and sub witches.
Yeah, and this game it started. I missed. It didn't start the rematch, so this game's been playing. So devansh is white, Kex is black. So we had e3, e6, and played that line that we saw in the earlier games. So we're playing the similar line, but devansh
Man,
is
he's
way
already
down
almost
on time.
too many. Oh my god.
Yes, we got folks asking how much time did Kex offer. This feels weird though, with Kex with over 2 minutes, devansh only with 30 seconds.
I think rook c1 and then maybe take knight with the knight. Oh man, this is
Oh man, so frustrating for. So devansh is saying he can capture back on a2 with this knight. Wait, what?
so I'm just gonna see the launch timing out.
My
It's a shame.
yeah. Yeah, this is kind of unfortunate that this happened this way. devansh can play fast, but this is just not to his. Setting up a capture chain. So the king's safe. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And I'm a little bit upset too because the game started and my board didn't switch over to it, so I missed the beginning to even see what the times were.
Oh.
Yeah, I wonder if we can see what times were offered. So it looks like, all right, so Autumn Wind said from the beginning, so yeah, I can't get the chat to stay in spot, but Kex had 3 minutes and devansh had 2.
Okay.
All right, well, Kex wins his second Armageddon, the only person to win 2 Armageddons. And he will be going on to the final. That was a great match, though. Both players played really well. Bit of a underwhelming finish because it kind of just feels unfair, but that's the rules. So I don't know if devansh thought that 2 minutes was enough time, or if he thought there was an increment. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
shoot.
know.
Yeah, no, devansh is responding. He thought that there still was increment. So he thought he was
Oh,
playing 2-5 and Kex was maybe playing 3-5. Yeah, shoot. That's unfortunate. Ouch. Well, folks, thanks for joining. We've got another match in exactly 1 hour from now. We will
one
have
minute.
SupWitches versus Flow, change opening. Should also be an exciting match. You know that Flow's like a opening. He's basically stockfish in the opening, and he's got lots of lines memorized. But I'd say like Supwitch is very interesting to me. Like he's in the few games that matches that we got to watch. Like he played so many different lines. Like every single game, he responded with something different. So, and very good with his like.
Yeah, I think Flo's gonna have a lot of work because he's gonna have to prep for like every single thing that's up, which is no, so which is a lot, which
Yeah,
is a
it
lot.
is. It is, and I'm sure Flo was making that attempt to do that. So we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna log off for now. We'll be back in 1 hour.